that recording signal, they remove it. It's not from them.
Okay. Every time. Yeah.
Welcome to another super exciting time right here on Television Nigeria. It is a time where we talk about the newspaper review. My name is Cynthia Agbo, and I will not be doing this alone. I have
Anthony Momodu said, and we intend to look at the big stories, giving you very balanced analysis.
And Tara Joseph Gabis is here, and welcome to the newspaper review.
It is a beautiful new week, and of course, we have a whole lot of things going on in and around Nigeria. Firstly, I have the Guardian newspaper here with me, and the big story this morning is oil subsidy may return as cross-border losses hit 707 million naira daily. And of course, we have the riders here. Pengerson seeks payment of arrears. NLC give terms for deregulation. And we'll find that story on page 6. Of course, in Kano, and you'll find that on page 3 of The Guardian. On page 4, you will find the British Council restates commitment to developing Nigeria. On page 4, you also find Otedola louds Lagos Governor Ambode on development. And on page 5, you'll find a story on the Dapchi girls. Abduction exposes your weakness, cleric tells Buhari. All right, so this morning, I would say that I am surprised, and in a way not too surprised, to find oil subsidy coming up, the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning, because I was thinking that issue has actually been settled. So it is a thing of surprise to find oil subsidy coming in. Now it just makes me feel like the promises to the Pengerson were not fulfilled, or there are certain things that the government is not telling us, because every now and then, I remember some months back, the Pengerson were about to go on strike, but I think they had a meeting and that was resolved. So I really think that there's something the government is not telling us. Why not just settle this thing once and for all, so we know that this is off our back?
I think this just goes to tell us how inconsistent this present administration has been as regards policies and views about issues. If you remember very well, during December crisis, fear crisis, the president did come out to say he was going to deal decisively with those who were responsible for the hot
Sure.
When the first meeting was held, when it was time for people to speak up, nobody said any word. We remember the minister, Ibe Kachukwu, coming out to say when it was time for them to name those culprits, everybody kept quiet, and that was the Nigerian factor issue. And we remember the National Assembly setting up a committee to look into allegations of a subsidy being paid, which wasn't brought to the fore or approved by the National Assembly. So it just goes to tell you that things are actually not what they seem as regards this current administration. And a lot of questions that needs answer is yet to come out. And it just tells us that things are not as straight as they seem.
Yeah, seriously, I just feel that this headline is saying a lot of stuff. 774 million naira daily. That's a lot of money. I mean, it can be used for many other stuff and help us, grow our economy and all that. And then you said you want subsidized fuel and all that. Yeah, you're doing us a favor. But then at the end of the day, what does this headline mean? We need to find out, and I urge you to find out when you read the paper. So.
Exactly. You will find details of this particular story more on the Guardian newspaper on page 6, and talking about oil subsidy may return as cross-border losses hit 774 million naira daily. On the back page of the Guardian, you will find a sports story. Nigeria fails to win any medal at IAAF Indoor Championship. And of course, we have Roberto Carlos
$774 million daily. NMC GMD opens up on petroleum importation. The next big story is on this. Committee speaks says it wants party to woo back defeated top members. And federal government neglecting River, Governor Wike speaks on page 41 of the Daily Sun. The big story here, looking at more troubles for the APC and Oyebu specifically in the eye of the storm. Recently, we noticed there has been trouble between the APC chairman, talking about Onyegu and Tinubu and the entire APC. Do you think this is likely to show spanners in the work of the APC as we head towards 2019?
Well, if you ask me, I would say that I am seeing APC getting close to that. If not, probably we might get to see what happened to PDP.
All right. We also got the PDP saying no single governor can impose a candidate on them. But
Sure.
Looking at all the troubles of the PDP, do you think they've truly transformed? Do you think
2000, you understand, in order to bring them to this party and all that. So everybody is just putting all their houses in order gradually, but, well, the best candidates win, right?
I think it's not even about putting their A game at this point, because if you look at the time, what type of A game can possibly come out? It only takes a miracle. Because look at 2019, it's just like it's 2 days' time.
Yeah.
So what are we saying?
all right, we'll keep our fingers crossed to see how it plays out, but definitely 2019 around the corner, the APC, a lot of work to be done. That's how I'll call it a wrap on the big stories making the rounds on the Daily Sun. We've got the next review.
So I have with me the Daily Independent, and the big story is we spend 774 million naira daily to subsidize petrol. Statement from the NNPC, and you can find that on page 4 of the Daily Independent. So moving on, I have APC wins all 18 chairmanship seats in Edo local government poll. So you find that on page 4 of the Daily Independent. I mean, big one for the APC, right?
I think that story is quite controversial. It just tells us the politics in Nigeria are not very clean. Remember, there were issues in Edo State as regards the PDP. The case going to court, and what it meant was that it was a clean passage. For the APC to have a clean sweep. So I expect in the coming days we'll be seeing lots of tribunal cases go to court back and forth.
Right? A lot of APC win, but the councillorship is not yet over, so we're still hoping they win again.
We're still waiting.
Yeah, big wins for the APC. And then more stories. If Governor El-Rufai is for war, we're ready for bigger war, says Sheikh Husani. And you find that story on the page 4 of the Daily Independent. And moving on, I have another story, and it says death toll in fresh Taraba violence rises to 20. And the writer says 300 cows missing. So I've heard about the Mambila militants, other people on the uprising and all that in Taraba State. And then I don't understand. We have Boko Haram, we have Biafra, and then we have Mambila militants and all that. What's happening?
I think that shows the fact that our security agencies, the federal government, have not been very committed to bringing peace to Taraba, especially because we have Governor Daros had come out several times to say he thought the federal government wasn't up and doing in terms of ensuring that the lives and properties of the citizens of Taraba were protected. It looks more like it's a conspiracy. If you look at the attacks, the way the attacks occurred, the timing of the attacks, so it just tells you that the Nigerian security system has to do more. They have to show that they truly have the ace above these militia groups, because this is how Boko Haram started, and before we knew it, we all got consumed. And I think we don't want to have 3 very radical groups, taking sway of the whole country.
That would be disastrous.
300 cows missing.
That would be very, very disastrous if we get to see something like this growing into Boko Haram. Because like he said, that is how it all starts. And then if care is not taken, we find something very beyond our control, basically. Something that we can't control anymore.
I just think our security agents need to do a better job. I mean, we can't have these kind of lapses in our country and all that. And this goes to show that we have to do better. We have to be better. We have to be intentional about matters concerning security in Nigeria. So that's all the stories I have for the Daily Independent.
Okay, so move on to The Nation. I have with me the big story on The Nation this morning says, military tackles rep over Dapchi girls' whereabouts. And we also have a middle story here says, disquiet over budget, Cold War delays passage. And we also have Lagos will become Africa's third largest economy, says Otedola. The businessman endorses Ambode. And the Youth Act on lawmakers' tip. At the headline, we have National Assembly sued over 2019 polls schedule. You will find this story on page 6 of the Nation newspaper. And we have on page 9, we have UTME exams begins on Friday, says JAM on page 10, 2 cured of Lassa fever in Kogi facility. Great news. You will find that on page 10. And on the sports, we have I'm over the moon, says Victor Moses. You find that on page 45. All right, so I'm surprised that the Dapchi girl story is just coming in just one newspaper this morning. I am actually surprised. At a point, I am beginning to feel that perhaps the oil subsidy came up to take people, Nigerians' mind away from the Dapchi girls. Yeah. And it is really, really sad if that is the intention, because we are supposed to be focused on, on getting freed the 110 girls that were abducted, the school girls that were abducted. But now we have to talk about oil subsidy. So let's come back to this military tackles rep over the Dapchi girls' whereabouts. How far do you think this can go?
I think I expected this to come up. Both stories are very essential to our national life.
Sure.
If you talk about the military tackling reps, obviously the story was that there was a checkpoint manned by the military just barely hours after they left. That was when the attack took place. So there's a lot of questions to be asked. Why did they have to move? Was it so essential that they left that checkpoint, knowing fully well that tactically or technically they said they had defeated Boko Haram? So it was very key for them to be at that checkpoint. But the fact that they had to move, who gave that order, is a very big question that needs to be answered. And I think I like the fact that the rep is tackling the military. That's going to put them on their toes to know that it's very essential that the Dapchi girls get rescued no matter what it takes.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's the way to go.
I concur. So now I have another paper with me, and this is the Nigerian Tribune. And the main story, how Tinubu lost bid to restructure APC. And the writers, ex-Lagos governor weighing third force options. Loyalists say only National Convention can extend Wegun's tenure. And you find that on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. And the next story, APC sweeps Edo local government poll. You find that on page 38 of the Nigerian Tribune. And God, 24 local governments endorse my son-in-law's governorship ambition. And that is a statement from Okorocha, and you find that on page 4. And Sokoto government to construct 1,000 tube wells to tackle drought in farms, and you find that on page 29 of Nigerian Tribune. And below the picture story, you have underage voting, INEC threatening Nigeria's democracy, and that's a statement from the PDP. And the writer says, be patient, committees claim not final, according to INEC. So you find that on page 38 of the Nigerian Tribune. And other stories, NNPC pays 774 million naira daily to subsidize petrol. The writer says there are 3,067 petrol stations at Nigeria's borders, and you find that on page 37. I mean, this story is recurring in almost all the newspapers, and it just begs the question: is subsidy going to be coming back to us again? I mean, I don't understand.
And I think the big story there that caught my attention is Rochas Okorocha speaking again, talking about support for his son-in-law. It just tells you this is a man who told us, brought us happiness commissioner.
Commissioner of happiness.
You can imagine what's going to pop up when the son-in-law takes over. It means he's going to have some indirect influence on whatever's going to happen in the state. And I think the people of Imo State will do well to know that they deserve something more. We do not need a governor who's going to bring an African president who is corrupt, who has dented image from South Africa to build a statue for. It just tells you that probably he's lost his ideas which way to go. And I think the people of Imo have to do more to get the right person to lead the country.
In times past, we've had godfatherism play out in Nigeria, and then it just goes to show that it's not in extension, and it's just something that's coming back again and again. What are we going to do about it? You understand? So I think that is something that we really need to take care of.
I think the Nigerians have to go out there, get their PVCs, ensure that you vote the right person. That's the right thing to do.
And I would say that I think the governor of Imo State, Rochas Okorocha, should go back to the drawing board to go find out where he left and where he missed it. Because if you speak to the average man in Imo State, he has something to complain about. He just says that something is not going well in the state. But here we find the governor building statues and, of course, giving commissioner for happiness, which is not even making the people happy. So how dare do you describe that? All right, so I would say that that's the much we can take this beautiful morning on the newspaper review. My name is Cynthia Agbo, and, of course, I have...
Anthony Momodi, we want to say thank you for joining us. And not just to chip in before we go, just to let you know that 15 new airlines are trying to get licensed despite the issues we're having in the aviation sector. So something to look into.
And then I am Tara Joseph Gabis, and stay tuned to Television Nigeria. Follow us on all our platforms, and God bless you.
In everything you do, just know that life is beautiful. Don't waste it. Bye for now. Eva, wait. I attacked him too hard. Okay.